You come across plenty of creatures when you venture out in the woods, but walk through the 174 hectares of Brodoclea Woodland Farm and you might find yourself, snout to snout, with something quite different entirely. More than 160 pigs. With thick, curly coats to keep out the chill of a wind that whips across the Ayrshire hillside, it's easy to mistake the rare breed for sheep. Move a little closer, and their distinctively flat, broad snouts become apparent, perfect for the task at hand. Allowed to freely roam pockets of the Dalry Farm's woodland, the Mangalitsas root and forage in the undergrowth, doing their bit to help grow the forest, boost biodiversity, support an array of wildlife, and pave a new path towards a different style of agroforestry. Overseen by the future forest companies David Carruth and Ken Porter, a day at the site shows just how effective their approach is. Looking down from the highest point, it's obvious that its pockets of woodland are thriving, including smatterings of Scots pine. But one of the major benefits of its method is the pig's bracken control, something David was keen to show off.
Imagine if you had a rotavator or a digger or something that came in here. Now this is 5 pigs all the way along here. 5 pigs in a week and a half.
Really?
Yeah,
Just a week and a half?
just a week and a half. So what they're doing here, so if you look across the other side of the fence there, that's exactly how it was. Just a thick layer of monocultural bracken. Now the bracken this time of year is starting to fall. It's only really when it starts to fall that we see the pigs go after it. And they'll dig the bracken kind of through the winter at different stages. And we don't really know what the shift is and what they're aiming for. But how they'll eat the bracken is they ignore the plant. Now the plant is dangerous to pigs and should never be eaten by pigs. But the pigs, because they have the instinctive ability, they have those sort of natural ability to know not to eat the plant. We've never had any problems with that. And what they do is they go after the rhizomes. And you can see where they've chewed the rhizome all the way along there. And they'll chew up and down the rhizome until they find the bit they want to bite off, and they'll bite off that bit of the rhizome and they'll leave the rest. And then they'll dig that nitrogen-rich top of the plant underneath the soil, and they'll add their own number 2s, and then we'll come back this time next year, and this will be some of the best grazing we've got on site.
So in terms of actually, obviously, one of the benefits is you can move the pigs around, etc, etc. But in terms of the soil, do you measure the soil in terms of the benefit this is providing?
We want to do more soil monitoring and seeing, so observationally it's very good. And when we sort of do sort of our own individual soil tests and we kind of dig into the soil, we do a lot of digging, we do a lot of fencing and stuff like that, we're seeing that the soil health is quite good and we're getting a feel for it.
The pigs, whose pork is sold under the Woolly Pig Company brand, bring other benefits, and not all are intended. For instance, they have proven effective deer control, something David and Ken attribute to the strength of its woodlands. Not only are they pretty to look at, but they are productive too, with Brodoclea's timber used to create fence posts and even benches for local walkers. Success and attention have duly come the site's way. The innovative example of agroforestry saw former dairy farmer David win the 2023 Scottish Woodlands Farm Woodland Trophy for Young People at Scotland's Finest Woods Awards, before Brodoclea picked up the Best Agroforestry Award at last year's Scottish Agriculture Awards, chosen by Forestry Journal. And while David and Ken both admit there are reservations about their approach, which they understand, they hope their success will inspire others.
What we're trying to use this site to do, this is why we kind of want to go for awards and stuff like that, is to kind of lobby and get a few sort of changes that would really help to help anyone else that wanted to do something similar to this in their own patches. And that's quite, if you can make these kind of operations viable. Now, a lot of tree planting going on in Scotland at the moment. 5-10 years time, the carbon will get sold off of all these plots and the value of the land will drop considerably, which will mean that these plots of land will become some of the most affordable for first time entrance into land management, agriculture, whatever. So if you can create systems for people to step into, then that creates options for people to kind of pick up and run with. And one of them could be with the grazing pigs.